Hey guys, Kristen Collins. Hope you're doing well. Really excited this week to connect about self-love. Why are we talking about that? Why is that a thing? I love myself. I take good care of myself. Let's move on. Well, a lot of us think that we take good care of ourselves or that we love ourselves from a headspace or from an ego or from a literal standpoint. Yet, are we understanding that searching, and it could be a very subtle searching, it wasn't for me this big epiphany of an aha. It was very, very subtle that I was constantly seeking outside of myself to find satiation, to find happiness, to find that hit of dopamine that I was like, cool, life is good, I like this. And it finally occurred to me after ill health that what I was searching for, I was never going to find outside of myself. That actually what I was looking for was connectivity to self, knowing and loving self, being comfortable with my unique purpose-driven being that was different than how anyone else showed up, and to embrace that and to love that and to be very surreal and calm about that so I could show up and live that authentic life on point. So when we talk about self-love, sometimes folks are like, yeah, I'm good. I love myself. But I want to take us a bit deeper this week and ask you, is it possibly showing up for you in a way, your disconnection from yourself, some of that deeper healing work that potentially you dissociated from? Is it showing up for you different? Is it annoyance with a family member? Is it just looking at them and judging them and thinking, wow, my life would be so much better without them? And sometimes the answer might be yes, but are we getting out of the head space into the heart space to really connect with, is this an unhealthy situation for me to keep going through? Is it now time to exit this scenario? I think a lot of us, especially as we approach middle age, can understand this about finances. How many zeros do we need to have in the bank to feel safe and whole and happy and comfortable? And I know for a lot of us, we've achieved a lot, we've done a lot, we've accumulated a lot, yet we still don't feel safe or whole. And again, this is at a visceral, like a deep embedded way. And for me, it was the health issue where I was justifying these seemingly unrelated health things that were bubbling up and not realizing that it was through my discomfort of how I was living my life and my not being connected to self. I was experiencing dis-ease because I was disconnected. So the answer to all of these things, your health, your happiness, your abundance, all are interconnected. And that is with truly sitting with self, knowing and loving self, and releasing and thanking all the rest of it for visiting, but then releasing it so we can step out in community, reconnect from that place of wholeness with people at work, with our family, with Mother Earth. And that's what we're doing this summer. So last week I invited you to spend your summer falling in love. I hope that you're taking advantage of the opportunity. And I wanted to spend a minute just explaining what that little sassy line or title means. And really what it will be is a virtual experience where for 8 weeks, we're going to walk through 8 different steps to dive deeper into our hearts and really reconnect with who we are and why we are. And how we're going to do that, ironically, is through an acronym that we've had in our shared space for over 2 years. And that is the acronym of Be Love. And we understand the concepts of these 2 sentences in totality, lowercase intentionally, 2 complete sentences that are very soft, but the idea of being, be here now, be in this present moment, and connect with it. End of sentence. And when we do that, we reconnect with love, because love is actually who we all are. We're all interconnected, one big ball of love. So the 8-step process, which we're going to go through this summer, takes us into one of these letters or one of the 2 periods to dive deeper into how we can reconnect with ourselves. And to summarize that, the B in Be Love stands for breathe. And we're going to talk about how to get ourselves centered in this present moment through our breath and how to be empowered through our breath. The second week, we're going to dive deeper into the E, which is for experience emotions. So as we get into that present moment, often we try to remove ourselves from the present moment because we're experiencing emotions that maybe we don't want to sit with, whether they are negative emotions, hate, anger, jealousy, fear, sadness, or, which was more of my journey later in life, I had challenges sitting with the emotion of love because that made me feel very vulnerable, and I wasn't interested in being vulnerable. And living a life not from a whole place of love is actually, for me, more like surviving instead of thriving. So that's been my journey of experiencing all of my emotions. Remember, we are not those emotions. We are the essence or being who are experiencing those emotions. The third week, we're going to dive into the period, which stands for pause. So as we experience the emotions, how do we process them? How do we let them roll through our body? And why it's not advantageous to act to get ourselves out of the discomfort of experiencing emotions, but instead to be in curiosity and wonder about the emotions bubbling up and what lessons can we learn from them. Which then brings us into the L on love, and that's to let go, whether they're positive emotions or negative emotions. Now that we've experienced them and paused and contemplated them, we can go ahead and exhale them out and release them and embrace whatever lessons came with those emotions, if any. And then from there, that present moment where we've experienced and released, we go to the O, and that stands for opening our hearts and really getting out of our ego and our headspace and getting into our heart and who we are and why we are, so that from there we can move on to the V, which is vision, and how do we cast that vision for ourselves unattached to the outcome from the heart. And when we do that, we evolve into the seventh week, which is the energy, the E, and how we can escalate and raise our energetic vibration to attract those heart-based visions that we have cast unattached to outcome. And it's amazing what happens when we get into our hearts and let go and open up what we're able to energetically attract. Because remember, we are all energy and we are all interconnected, and how we think and what we put out there is what we attract. Which leads us to the final period, which is the present. And that is the presence of that moment and this new ascension, this new transcendence that we've evolved through these 8 steps. And from there, we can circle back up and start the process all over again as we continue to evolve and learn and grow, because we are here. We're not here to be stagnant beings and protect and hoard and safety, safety, safety. There's nothing safe in that. It's what actually creates disease, is stagnation and disconnection from evolution and our growth and our curiosity and our childlike wonder and our joy and our love. So I invite you again this week to join us starting June 16th, where every week for 8 weeks, we are going to fall in love with ourselves totally, deeply, and open-heartedly. And I do hope that you choose to join us. You can check that out on my website, KristenCollins.com. And from there, up at the top, you can find coaching and workshops. Click on that tab, and that will bring you to the Fall in Love This Summer workshop, which I do hope that you choose to fall in love with yourself this summer. So with that, please, comments, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how this lands for you, and let me know how I can support your journey, because you are supporting mine with your connectivity, your comments, your kindness, your shares. And even when you disagree with me, that helps me too, because that helps solidify either, oh, am I missing something, or am I able to articulate what I'm seeing and feeling and believing because of the tension in the not being in alignment. So I welcome that too. So until next time, be love. Bye.